Some mornings, the world changes on a whisper. On a remote chain of islands in the Philippines, the sea is a language spoken by everyone. Its moods are known, its rhythms memorized. But on this morning, the sea breathed different. At first, it was the smell. Miguel Rodriguez had known the ocean's moods all his life. The sharp, briny lift at dawn, the diesel trace from distant ferries, the yellow tang of drying seaweed on the shore. But that morning, the air carried a new scent, a warm, sweet whisper he couldn't place. He scanned the horizon. The ordinary things were all in their places. Then, he turned a tight corner around a black rock promontory and saw the thing that didn't belong. To understand the weight of this discovery, you have to understand Miguel's world. He was a small-scale fisherman from a village where dusk and dawn were currencies, where the ledger of each day was kept in net weight and weather. The boat he owned wasn't just a tool, it was collateral against hunger. Most of the time, those were just stories. Until this morning. Up close, the container wore a hard life openly. Miguel walked its perimeter and found the doors two heavy slabs held by a corroded padlock that looked fossilized in place. He searched for a serial number, the stamped alphanumeric code that gives a container its identity, but it was obscured by rust and marine growth. His tools were the tools of his life. A machete, honed by 1,000 lines cut, and a heavy beach stone. Under the hammer of the noon sun, the lock fought like a bad memory. Then, with a small, dying shriek, the shackle snapped. At first, all he saw were boxes, tall, water-stained cardboard towers stacked to the roof. He slid his machete's tip under the tape of the nearest one and broke the breathless seal. Inside, a thick plastic bag winked up at him, vacuum-sealed, clear, and impossibly clean. Through the plastic, he saw them. The sweetness that had ridden the breeze all morning rose now in a wave so pure, so concentrated, it staggered him. It reached back and touched his childhood. A bakery on market day, warm custards, a teacher's birthday cake. Miguel didn't need a book to name it. Vanilla. Not extract, not flavoring. Beans. A treasure you could smell. The world calls vanilla ordinary, only because it doesn't know her story. Vanilla is born of a specific orchid, Vanilla planifolia, a plant with a diva's demands. Each flower opens for just one day. Outside its native habitat in Mexico, the specific bees required for pollination don't exist. Human hands must do the job. A gesture so precise, work is too crude a word for it. After months of waiting for the pods to grow, a long, ritualistic curing process begins, sweating, drying, and resting, where chlorophyll surrenders to chocolate, where grass becomes perfume. This delicate, labor-intensive biography is why real vanilla is the second most expensive spice on the planet, after saffron. Miguel understood only what a lifetime had taught him. Things born of honest labor are expensive. Fragile things cost more. And anything sweet that survives the ocean must be blessed. A single banca cannot swallow a shipping lane. He loaded what he dared. 4 boxes, then 3 more. A final, awkward 5th, as greed argued convincingly with balance. He lashed them down and pushed off. The journey home was stalked by a new enemy, imagination. He did not return with nothing. He returned with a smell that stopped the neighborhood.
What is it?
Neighbor said. Vanilla, Ana, reply. Miguel was a law-abiding man, because men who can't afford lawyers must be. He called the Coast Guard, the barangay captain, a cousin who knew a shipping agent. The serial number was traced through international databases. They found a match, a container reported lost at sea during a Category 5 Typhoon 3 monsoons ago. Its route had touched ports with names that turned Miguel's breath into fog. Then came the detail no one expected. For reasons known only to offices thousands of miles away, the owner had never filed an insurance claim. No payout, no police report. On paper, the world's spine had shrugged and moved on. In maritime law, certain words arrive, like weather, abandonment, salvage. The local court declared the cargo legally abandoned. The finder, Miguel Rodriguez, had acted in good faith. Legal title was his. Experts came from the city. They rendered their verdict. The beans were a Madagascar type, rich and plush. The vacuum seals had held. Loss to brine was minimal. Export quality high. Then, someone said a number. When the smoke cleared, the figure sat steady. 142,000 US dollars. It would have been easy to stop the story there. A poor man is handed a luck so loud it echoes. He buys a loud truck. He disappears behind a high gate. But Miguel's story did not end there. It began. His first pledge was simple. His children would never again choose between school and dinner. His second was harder. No one eats alone. He kept enough to secure dignity, but not enough to poison judgment. With the rest, he built a cooperative. He bought 2 larger boats, hired crew at fair wages, and invested in cold storage. He brought in trainers to teach sustainable methods, mesh sizes, that spared juvenile fish, reef-friendly moorings. He even set aside funds for a small vanilla curing pilot project, partnering with an agricultural NGO. Let the thing that found us teach us, Miguel told them. Let sweetness require patience. Prosperity brought side effects, arguments, whispers about fairness. Miguel's answer was transparency. Numbers on a board for all to see. He held open meetings until tempers cooled. He signed fair contracts with spice distributors who respected their rural suppliers. He created a storm relief fund because the sea never checks receipts. Slowly, the village adjusted. The church smelled faintly of vanilla at Christmas because Anna had learned to infuse it into sugar. On calm nights, they told the story of the metal whale, the sweet air, the cracked lock. Months later, the Coast Guard insisted the container be removed. It was hauled away, leaving an absence that looked briefly like grief. In the sand where it had sulked, the village held a festival. An elder told of a god who hid sugar in ugly places, so humans would learn to search together. Long after the last drum fell quiet, Miguel stood at the edge of the water. He thought of the lock's shriek, the first breath of sweetness, and the way his wife's eyes had steadied. He thought of typhoons and chalk on boards, and men who had almost learned how not to yell. He thought of the sea, not as a friend or an enemy, but simply as a force. And under the vast, silent scatter of the stars, he whispered a thank you.